Welcome back, guys, to this fourth video in which we're gonna try and make this model here the first one. So far we went over to how to make this model, then how to make this one, then we tackled along this one, which was a bit more complicated because it had some geometrical differences from the other ones. Now we're gonna try and tackle this one. Now, namely, this really doesn't look like it's anything complicated, but geometrically looking, this has a bit of an issue because you're gonna have to transition from having a smooth circular surface going to a box-like surface. So let's go ahead and see how we can do this. For this, first thing we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna start with a line and trace out the profile. So again, like we did it previously, don't care too much where I put these for now because they are going to change. Get it to about here, then click, drag down. Don't worry about this portion for now. Just try and figure out how this thing is going to end up looking at the end. All right, like this, go downwards, click, click. All right, finish it here. Again, with all the turned elements, we're gonna go over to the modifier list, choose a lathe, and click on the min. All right, now let's try and figure out how we're going to place all these lines. So select vertex, Control A to select them all, right click, Bezier corner. Now we can select all of these handles individually. All right, let's go something like this. Let's try and match it a bit better. All right, this is okay. Yeah, this is okay as well. Nah, I'm gonna leave this like this for now. So get this rounded like that. This should probably be something like this. And you can even be smooth transition. All right. We really don't care about this small details. This is not the focus for this video. All right, let's go ahead, choose lathe. And for this, I'm gonna go ahead and put in 12 segments. All right. So now what I wanna do is I want to make a box, which is going to be about here. So I'm gonna hold down Control and right click and choose box from the primitive creation menu. So click box, give it width of, let's say 60. Again, with a length of 60. All right, so the length should have been a bit smaller. So let's try with 20. All right, let's align this with our model. So center with center, we're gonna get something like this. All right, now, if we wanna use this in this fashion, where we want to have two pieces of geometry overlapping each other, we can use it this way. It's not wrong. But if you wanna retain the geometry from the original one and just get it to flow over to this one, we're gonna have to do some modeling here. Now, here is how we're gonna do it. First of all, I'm just gonna get this just a bit smaller so it's encompassing. All right, something like this. So for now, if I take a look at here, like we said, we had 12 sides. So for now, I got only 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So let's increase this. On the sides, we have now one more. Let's go with 2 more and 4 more. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16 sides. All right, so let's make this then 16 sides, not 12. Let's see if this is going to be enough. All right, this is going to go with this. This is going to go with, yep, this is going to be just right. So in a second, you're going to get an idea of what I actually have been trying to do. The thing is, when you're trying to get 2 pieces of geometry to flow one into the other, every time you want to do this, you want to make sure that the amount of geometry you have from the first one coincides with the number of geometry edges you have from the other one. So for example, what I want to do here right now is I'm going to go edit poly, and I'm going to select all of these middle parts over here. So these middle polygons, I'm going to click delete, and I'm going to delete them. So then I'm going to skip over to the box, drop on an edit poly in here, click on polygon, click on this by angle, set it to I think even 45 is going to work, but just click on 30. That's going to select all the top polygons. I'm going to delete those, select the bottom ones, delete those as well. So now we're left with a middle portion here, which is basically missing any geometry. Now, this is where the modeling part comes into play. In the first video, I told you to download a script called Loop Regularizer. What this loop does, it's basically taking the geometry that you have selected. For example, in this case, I'm just going to go ahead, choose scale, hold down shift and drag inwards one piece of geometry like this. So for now, I'm just going to rise it up just a tiny bit to get this shape. Again, actually I'm going to go Control Z twice, and I'm going to select the bottom portion as well, because we're going to have to transition this on the top on the bottom as well, and want to have the same amount of geometry. So again, hold down shift, pull it inwards. Now alt select the bottom part, and again just rise up the top part just a tiny bit like this. And now if I right click and go, oh, this is actually an issue here. If you're going to use the loop regularizer, that means that when you're working, you have to have your stacks collapsed. If you have a modifier list, the loop regularizer doesn't work. So I'm going to have to go ahead and right click and convert to an editable poly. So now when I go ahead and select my border and right click, on the bottom I'm going to see this regularize options available to me. So by clicking this, my entire loop has been transferred to look like a perfect circle. So I'm just going to get it closer to the center here. Now one more time, I'm going to hold down shift and drag in one more line with the, there we go. So with the scale, we get it into position. So now this is what we have to do. We have to do the same for the bottom part as well. So right click, regularize, get it smaller, one more time, get it lower. So now I want to select my box, or either the top part, it really doesn't matter. You go over to attach. I'm just going to go with the box and attach here. Okay. And I have these two together. Now what I want to do here is quite simple. I want to select the border on the top and the border on the one that we just made and click bridge. This is going to get them together. Click the bottom part, do the same thing with the bridge. And with this, we are actually starting to get somewhere. Now, since we are using a turbo smooth, for example, if I drop in a turbo smooth right now, we're gonna have some problems here. And this is the problem. Even though this is a box, this is not retaining the box geometry. We have to put in some extra edges. So one here, one here. And now on the top, actually on the bottom one, you have to go ahead, select one of these edges, Alt R or ring, and with the connection just slide it towards the end, something like this. Same on top, ring, connect. And now, even though we have these, if we turn on a turbo smooth, we're gonna have a problem because these edges are going to be rounded. But other than that, everything is looking good. So let's just see how we can deal with that problem. So go to the edge over here, select this edge, click on grow, and deselect these. So we just want to have this portion over here. So now I can go ahead and chamfer this with 2. Well, actually no. I'm just going to go ahead and do a cut. So with the cut, I want to go from here, cut to the side, get it to the bottom, and terminate over here. Again, on the other side as well. And now, if I turbo smooth this time, we're gonna see that it's retaining that sharpness, and with 2 iterations, we're no longer seeing this. I'm just gonna go over and do the same thing to the other edges, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I'm done, so you don't have to watch me do the same thing again and again. All right, so I went ahead and did the rest of them. So if I go over to turbo smooth now, you can see that it's retaining this box-like element, and it's starting to flow exactly from the box back to being circular. So we can do the same thing here for the top. Let's just see if we can just reuse what we did here. So I want to go ahead and try and basically rip off my own work. So select both of these. In this case, actually, I'm not going to need the top portion. I'm just going to need the lower one. Something like this. And click on detach. It's going to ask me if I want to detach it as a clone. I'm going to click because I don't want to cut it off from the middle. Click on OK. Now, click on this bottom portion, bring it upwards, about here. Now, since this is something like this, we can just simply scale it outwards so it encompasses the original size. I'm gonna turn off, all right, just let me delete this inner portion here. Just make sure I have only that selected. Delete and isolation. And now again, I'm going to take the box, or I can even go ahead and attach both of these together. Same deal like previously, just bridge it together, and now we have this. Again, turn off or just delete that top portion, get this lower. All right. Oops. Delete this. Here we have a bit of a problem, but still nothing too major we have to worry about. Just delete those little guys at the edges. Again, delete. All right. Choose the border. Shift scale outwards until we get it into the right size, and shift move upwards until you get it about here. And now at the top, once we are there, hold on, shift, turn it in once, twice. You can now just cap this, and we can either leave it like this. In turbo smooth, it shouldn't have any too big of a problems, although we're gonna have to put in some extra edges over here to hold this form like this. And if we take a look at it now, we no longer have that issue. At the top, again, another edge over here, and something like this, just so we don't end up with a nasty looking geometry at the top like this. We can simply select this top portion, go now select the border, click on hold down Control, press edge, and now simply deselect these two edges, and let's see if we can bridge these together. It's actually leaving a bad. All right, in that case, I'm just gonna cap it again, and now collapse. This time we should get it. Well, it's a similar geometry, but in any case, it makes no difference because we have kept our geometry flowing from the top to the bottom without having to use different geometries or different objects into one. So this is all just one geometry. Now, as you can see, if we want to get this bottom portion to be just like with this one, you can feel free and either copy this entire box. Well, actually, just do it. It's going to be quick. Plus, you can see me one more time how I'm doing it. So again, just select this entire portion. Detach as clone, okay. Move down the clone. Rotate around for 180 degrees. Move it upwards until it gets into position. Again, it's the same geometry as this one. Turn off the thing. All right. Now let's see if this is the size. All right, just effectively center to object. Yeah, it's about the same size. So again, attach. All right. Oh, okay. My mistake. Delete that one. Front. Select both of them, bridge them together, and turbo smooth. There we go. No longer have any issues, and everything is one continuous portion. But at least I should have, before I did this, I basically should have just selected. Okay, let's go ahead and do it right. And I'm gonna detach this. Detaches without I don't want to detach it as a clone, so detach it. Make sure my center to pivot is in the center. I'm going to center this to the object. Okay, and again, we just with the align tool get them both centered one to the other, and we have a bit of a problem here. Well, nothing too major. We can just choose to move this, and well, actually I think this was right. Yes, it was. some reason this doesn't look like. Okay, no biggie. So you can just move it where we want it to be. For some reason it just offset it to the side a bit, but you get the idea. So attach it again, these two together with the bridge, and now it's one continuous geometry object, and you can use it in your project, and nobody's going to be the wiser if you used a box for the middle one or if it's the whole just one model. Now the good thing about doing it this way is that when you actually put on a texture, it's going to flow with the same seam of the rounded portion and the box like portions. So with this, again, I'm going to apply the gray material, put on the black color, and let's continue on and see in the next videos what's left and how we can do the rest of these turned legs.